And then now I have to hit go live in Facebook. And is it live in Facebook? Let me look real quick to make sure.
Okay. It says live on your screen. Maybe just not the Facebook.
Yeah, because it's I got it set up to go live in Facebook and let's see. Let me click out and do it again. It's not showing live there, so let me. Oh, I know what it is. All right, let's see. There we go. Now then. So now let me see if we can find it. There we are. Oof, goodness gracious.
There's always something, right?
All right. So we are live in all the places. So let me get back over here. All right. So I'll make sure I'm in the window where I can see you. I can see you. So everybody, as you get here, make sure you say hello and let us know you're here. But we're just going to go ahead. We want to really honor Alpesh's time today because he's actually at work and taking time out of his day. So I'm super excited to have him here. And thank you again, Alpesh, for coming in and sharing your expertise because
Anytime.
you and I have talked many times and you have a lot of value. So first off, I'm going to let you introduce yourself and tell a little bit about you, and then I'll have plenty of things to ask you about.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Vicky, for invitation, and I'm happy to help any way I can. Hello everybody. I'm Vicky. I cannot see anybody, unfortunately, because I'm not on the live. I'm just looking at you. Okay. So if any questions, Facebook or anywhere, just pass it to me, and I'll probably answer that. But yeah, hey everyone. My name is Alpesh Patel, and I'm a founder of Theravio. I'm a physical therapist. I'm working in this field for last almost 15 plus years. Uh, yeah, I've seen all kind of patients starting from 2 months old to 104-year old. So I have vast experience on treating multiple injuries, regardless as a cardiac rehab, any arthritis patient, post-surgical patients. So yeah, I've been working pretty long enough, and I feel like I'm ready to retire. But hey, my patient don't let me because thank God I'm because looks like they like me too much and
Yeah.
keep me on my toes. And I'm happy to help. And when I see the smile on their faces, is really rewarding. So that's a little thing about me. And yes, I founded a new company recently. I think like almost year and a half now.
Mm-hmm.
This Theravio, where I want to help people with their pain, uh, help them to start the pain-free journey. And my goal is to help 100 million people before I die. So that's the motto we have at this point. But right now,
Mm-hmm.
we talk about your community, which is stand up and stand out. I love the
Yeah.
name, by the way. It's
Oh,
really,
thank
really
you.
cool,
Thank you.
really, and
Thank
it's
you.
it's perfectly in my field because our job is to make them stand up and then stand out, like do what you need to do and
Yeah.
get back to your normal life, right?
Yeah, it encompasses a lot. So Wendy is here. She says hello.
Hey,
Um,
Wendy.
so and she just got back from an amazing cruise, and I think she's going to be leaving again. So we're very fortunate to have her popping in today.
Nice.
So one of the things that has plagued me for years, because I've been a hairstylist for over 30 years. I don't even want to say how many, but carpal tunnel tends to
Yeah,
be the problem that most hairstylists have, along with
yeah,
shoulder issues, back issues, but it's really the wrist. And most people that work with anything where you're doing a repetitive movement, even if you're a
Yes.
mechanic or, even working on the computer after a while can really affect your wrist. And I know you have a special thing that you do for people with wrist issues. So can you dive in a little bit, maybe give me a little pointers? Because I will say, I do not want surgery. I've been told that I would have to have that before,
Right.
but I actually, when I was having a lot of problems, I was wearing a wrist brace, especially at night. Because one of the habits that I had, which I did not know it was a habit, was I would sleep like this.
Yes. I was
And
about to say.
yeah, and I didn't even realize I was doing it until I started wearing that wrist brace. But that seems to keep it at bay a lot. But
Right.
I can tell after a really busy day that it bothers me. So go.
Right. So, to be honest, like carpal tunnel, the reason it happened is kind of an overview. So we look at it like, abusing our own hands or body. A lot of time patient comes to me when I tell them, oh, you need to do exercise. And they tell me, oh, I walk a lot. And I'm like, that's not good. Because if you walk a lot, but you're not doing exercises, so what happens is if when you walk, when you do certain things, in your case, let's say you're doing hairstylist, so what happens is your mind is always about the activity or do the better job. So your mind doesn't know how your hand moves.
Right.
They know the end result. So this is the goal I have for this lady. I want to style this way. I want to do this way. A patient is walking or bending or doing any exercises or any activities. Our mind only look at the end result, that this is what I want to achieve. So because you are so much into it, like when you are, especially hairstylist, when you are working on somebody's hair, you're so dive into that that you forget about your surroundings, and all you focus in your hair, the person's hair.
Mm-hmm.
What happened is because you're so much into it, you forget how your hand moves, because all you see the hair, not even your hands. Or
Right.
and so lot, and if you continue doing it again and again, again and again, now we are in this world, nobody has time to do exercises. So what happened is your muscles are not strong enough, but you're doing a lot of work. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like the
So doing the
imbalance.
work isn't considered a form of exercise in a way?
It is considered as exercise. And this is not the first time, Vicky, you say that. Everybody
I
talks
bet.
about it, that uh, it's like, okay, so I ask question like, okay, the person who is actually go to gym, they get the back pain. Why? They're doing actually exercise in the gym, not even that. It's all about the habits, the body
Okay.
alignment, the how
Okay.
the body moves. Now, if you have a habit of doing it wrong, the way let's say I'm moving my hand, but I'm giving you an example. Let me just come out with something. Let's say you're cutting your hair,
Mm-hmm.
or somebody's hair. Now, your body movement supposed to be like this, like your hand,
Mm-hmm.
but you are comfortable doing like this. So when you do it, you want to do a bit arch because that's your way to cutting the hair or styling or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's a wrong body positioning because your shoulder and your wrist are not aligned properly. So there is no alignment. So now when you trying to do the work, yes, you're working, you're getting the end results, which is the person is happy and all the stuff, but you're abusing your wrist because you are not enough, like a transition of the your body weight into
Mm-hmm.
the wrist. Now look at the wrist, look at the size of the wrist, and look at our body,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? And you're doing non-stop activity, and if you have improper weight distribution on your wrist, that you're injuring yourself. Now that injury is not that significant because again your mind is so blocked on giving the best result to your client that you don't even like think about your wrist. But what happens is at certain time your hand says enough is enough, Vicky. You know what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna move, and there you go. Your pain starts, and
Yeah.
then you
Because,
start doing all this stuff.
one of the
So
things that happens with me as a hairstylist is, in order to get certain levels of cut and angles and things, we really have to manipulate our hand a lot,
yes, yes,
with the shears going this way and point cutting over here. And so it's a lot, and then it's like when you're doing the blow drying and stuff, you're constantly
right,
doing this. And like you said, when I'm busy doing hair, if I take time to think about my wrist, it slows me down to the level that I can't get their hair done in the right amount of time. So,
Exactly.
with that said, so is there an exercise that I'm supposed to be doing for my wrist? Because let me, before you tell me that, I want to tell you that when I do yoga and everything, I have a real hard time being up on my wrist. I really do.
Right.
Sometimes I try to do my fingertips to do it better, so it's not pressure on my palm, on my
Mhm.
wrist. And that's the only thing I can do, but I can't stay up on my fingertips for very long.
Right. So there's certain components to go into that wiki. So of course, you have to look at your age, the amount of activities you're doing it, right? And then we have to plan accordingly, right? So no, it's the thing is like sometimes let's say what I could do at my 10 years ago at this age, I cannot be the same guy. But what happened is our mind is so sharp, and he's gonna keep pushing me. No, you could do this. You cannot. You can easily do it. No, it's not that hard. It's a piece of cake. But for our body, it is not. The more you push your body without even taking care of it, it's actually gonna get injured. So there is a few components to it, right? The first one comes the prevention. This is what we were talking about, like how your hands moves and everything. You have to understand a little bit body movement, the body mechanics, and that's why I always say, speak to the therapist, or when I see how you cutting your hair when you come to my clinic, or I analyze you, and then we kind of go through the activity and see, like, and then I can come up with some modification techniques, like, okay,
Okay.
this is not how you should. This is called a prevention, right? So now
Hmm.
what happened is happened. So your injuries happen, and we cannot go back crying about it, like why it happened and all this stuff. Our time is to look forward. So first we stop. So pain graphies never stays like that, or our muscle strength or anything in our body generally, it's never like consistent. It's always like bumpy road, right? So if you do
Hmm.
exercise, you get strong, and the minute you stop, you're going down, you're getting weak again you start exercise, going strong. Same thing with the pain. You take a rest or take care of yourself, pain is like going down. The minute you stop, pain goes up, right? So it's consistent. So what's our job is to, when pain going constantly up in this direction, we try to stop it. So we start with the basic stuff, which is the prevention, conservative therapy, like you said, you put the wrist splint or something like that, just so we stop inflame it anymore. Because
Hmm.
the reason it happened is overuse.
Right.
So we have to actually not use it. But then again, not using is also not good, right? So that's why you only wear it at night time, or there is a certain time you
Yeah.
wear it, but eventually you have to start movement. But this is called preventive measurement, where you look at the body functions. You can use the ice pack, heat pack, depends on again the conditions. Then use like braces, or you can tie, like as a therapist we work with a lot with our hands, and there are times my wrist hurts or this thing hurts, and I'm like, oh, it's time. So but we know even the little pain comes, we start uh, precaution right away. Next time I'm massaging, I'm sure my wrist is wrapped up properly, so I'm able to move and I'm not putting pressure, or I change my body alignment, the way I'm massaging patient, the way I giving a stretching and all this stuff, right? So that's called the prevention part. The next come is the stretching. Because it's an inflamed, you have to do slowly stretching. Don't give them like all this force, because again
Yeah.
it's like a overusing it. So you
Hmm.
have to do like a basic stretching exercises. Now there are so many stretches you can do, but sometimes simple things works the best. I don't know, if any of your client wants, like book. I wrote a whole book about it.
Okay.
Technically, it's like how to cure your hand or wrist pain in 30 days. And I have give like 4 weeks plan, and it has like all exercise with the picture how to do properly. I
Okay.
can do it. We can do it anytime you want it. Just call me. We'll have just the exercise session. What exercise we can do based on the conditions. It could be any part of the body, or just a message me. I'll try to make a video about it, and probably I'll just share it with you, and you can share it with your community. I'm happy to do
Okay.
that. So that's the stretching exercises, and then it's come to the strengthening exercises. The
Yeah.
strengthening exercise is the one where we look at the injury, how bad it is, and based on that, we decide what exercise is the best to improving muscles without damaging the tissue, which is already damaged, right? So we kind of
Hmm.
have a little bit balance on both of that. So that's what it is. But yeah, I mean, do you want me to show you exercise, or it's okay? I can
Well,
show it.
well, Hold on real quick. Wendy, I don't know if you're still here. I know Wendy is here, and I can't tell if anybody else is on here or not. But is there anything in particular that is going on for you and your body? I know you've been on the relaxing cruise
She's good.
for, she went for 3 months. Um,
Wait, what?
yeah, yeah.
Oh
I think
wow.
that's right, 3 months. And then she's going to be going again for another 30-day cruise. She is a cruising
Oh
star,
wow.
but
Yeah.
maybe it is something that you're doing repetitively, not just necessarily your wrist. Maybe it's your back. Is there anything going on for you that maybe Alpesh can help you with, Wendy? She says she's here, so just we'll see if she has
For some
something
time. Mm-hmm.
that she needs. But the other thing that I've had an issue with is my hip, and
Mm-hmm.
and I know a lot of my hip stuff with my hip was an emotional thing that I had going on. And it's like I get it so much better. And then I do a movement that just seems like it tweaks it.
Yes.
And hard to stand. So, can you explain that just a little bit more? Is it when you're sitting and then you go to stand, or is it that you're standing too long?
Okay.
Walking, you're wanting to walk easier. Is that right? And Wendy is also a senior like me. So,
Okay.
so is there anything you need to ask her that would give you a little more idea of
I
what
mean, of
she
course,
needs?
she can always reach out to me personally, and if she want to jump on the call, I'll be happy. But no, but I can answer
All right.
as
She says, when I have to wait. So does that mean when you're waiting in line, or you're
so probably
waiting,
standing. Mm-hmm.
standing and waiting, I guess,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then walking easier?
Right. So basically, again,
Okay.
same
Somebody else
fundamental.
has said something. Hello, I've just noticed issues with my ankle. Tweaked it years ago and problems with full range of motion. All right.
Right.
So do Wendy's thing, and then maybe you can help Victoria with her. So go ahead.
Okay. So you want to start with the Wendy first?
Yes, yes.
All
Start
right.
with Wendy
So,
first.
hey Wendy. So whatever information you provided me, based on that, look like you just need the basic exercises. Now, there's the two thing involves from not able to stand long is that your muscles are weak. So anytime you have a problem doing any activities, is maybe because you're not strong enough. Your body is not strong enough to do that. But anyway, we keep pushing it, and then your body's way of telling you I cannot do it is by pain or by losing the balance, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why your body is telling you that that's it, enough is enough, and you're pushing it, right? So these are the two main symptoms, especially when you have a standing or the lower body problems, right? So we have to figure it out if she has any particular pain, which I have to address it. So if she's not able to stand for longer time, if it's not because of the pain, which is a very good news, then only we have to do some basic exercises, which involves the leg exercise and the hip exercise, or we say the pelvic exercise, right?
Mm-hmm.
When you do your pelvic floor, because think about it, our like a back, lower back, or the pelvic area is our center of the body. So
Mm-hmm.
either you move your lower body or upper body. That part is always working. The center part of the body, which
Okay.
is our pelvic, right? So we have to focus exercises on the back as well, not just the lower extremity. So that into the and again, Wendy, I promise you, just do choose like 3 to 4 exercise, no more than that. Don't look at all the videos. I promise you're gonna get confused, and there's so much information out there and so many exercises to do, and you're always confused. Start with what you can do it. That's more
Okay. She
important.
says right here that she is working out half an hour a day on a bicycle to strengthen her legs.
Yes, perfect. That's very good. This
Okay.
bicycle is very good, but we need to target individual muscles, Randy. So when you do bike is good for your lower body and is very good for the heart. Like I told you, a lot of people tell me I walk a lot. And then why I'm getting weak or weakness. Same thing. When you walk, when you do bike, is good for your general body, which generalized muscle, but you're not targeting individual muscle exercises. So bike is not going to target your back muscle exercises. Bike is not going to target your ankle exercise. It's only targeting your leg, which is the quadriceps and the hamstring around the leg.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what the main exercise you do, and that's why you feel on your legs like the thighs more when you do bike than anywhere else, because that's where the most targeted muscles are. So, but if you want to stand properly, Wendy, there's two things: your calves needs to be strong, and your hip muscles needs to be strong, because that's where the center is, right? And so
Mm-hmm.
you have to work on that area. Now, again, I promise you, a lot of people get confused when so many exercises they have to do and so many videos they do, and like, oh, I want to try this exercise, and then somebody show them another video. I'm like, oh, you should do that. I love that. There is no consistency into it. So let's say
Okay.
you're doing one, like Wendy is doing a bike, stick to the bike and just add two exercise a day, nothing else for next 2 weeks. Then add the third exercise. Let your body get used to it. And then those exercise, you do it instead of 10 times, do it 12 times, do it 15 times. Wendy, do it for 1 month. I promise you're gonna feel much, much better.
Okay.
But
She
if you
says it's
try,
her back that hurts the most when she stands.
exactly.
So yeah.
So that's a pain issues, right? So now we are
Mm-hmm.
looking at the other problem. So the back. So we have to treat with the back. So then, Wendy, are you stretching before you start the bike? That's a question. And another thing I would ask is, if she's doing a bike, is it with the back support or without the back support? It's like a stationary bike, like how we ride outside. There's no back
Mm-hmm.
support, something like that. Or there is a standard bike where she has a little bit cushion, like a back support in the
Yeah.
back. So if you have a back pain, Wendy, I would highly suggest to do bike, which has a back support, because when you're doing a biking, your back is supported with that back cushion.
So when you're biking, just out of
Mhm.
curiosity, because a lot of times we tend to really start leaning forward
Leaning
when we get
forward.
fatigued and stuff. Does that exacerbate the problem in the back, or
If
if your back is strong enough, doesn't matter?
No, if you have a back pain, then I
Mm-hmm.
would not suggest that. Those are like young people when you lean forward and all this stuff. But again, they also do a lot of exercise or stretching before that. So it
Mm-hmm.
is like that. When you do bike and you start hunch over, your
Okay. She
back muscles are
says
getting tired. Mhm.
I need to stretch stationary back. So you're not doing it now. So yeah, he's saying definitely do some good stretching beforehand, right?
Especially the hamstring stretching.
Okay.
Let me, this is our pelvic, and this is the I explain every patient. Like, this is our pelvic, right? What happened
Mm-hmm.
is, think about, okay, let me go on the side. This is our
Okay.
pelvic. Think about the pregnant lady, right? You see how we walk like arch back because your belly comes out. So your
Mm-hmm.
pelvic moves like this. It's moving. Now there is a back muscle, back of the leg muscles, a hamstring, right? Because your pelvic moves like this, it become tight.
Okay.
Now this become tight. Imagine just for 9 months, a lady carrying the baby has an arch back like this. And then most of the time, I would say 7 out of 10 ladies have a back pain issue during the pregnancy,
Mm-hmm.
right? Why? Because they have this constant pressure on the back because of the belly. What they're trying to do is trying to control the center of gravity, we call it, because
Right.
it's imbalance, right? So they have to
Mm-hmm.
maintain that balance. So automatically your body arch back in order to
Mm-hmm.
carry this belly.
Mm-hmm.
Now, once the baby is gone, I mean, a baby is born, and then now your body it needs to get stronger. But most of the time, especially guys and the like ladies, all have a bellies. We like guys probably they have a bellies. That's for years to come, and nobody stretch. So when you don't do this stretching, the hamstring muscle is tight here, which is pulling your pelvic even more. So you're constantly putting pressure on the back here. I hope I'm making sense.
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, okay. Because I know it's. I wish I had the skeletal here, and I was able to explain more. Next time
Next
I'll
time,
prepare.
next time.
Next time I'll prepare myself better.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So what happens is when you stretch this hamstring, it will align your pelvic properly, and then you do bike. Now you're not putting that much pressure because your back is stretched out, your muscle is stretched, so you have enough flexibility going on.
Okay. So
Okay,
then
Victoria.
Victoria says, and we'll let Wendy say if she's got some more questions, but
Sure.
Victoria had said she noticed issues with her ankle, tweaked it years ago, and problems with full range of motion. So do you have any suggestions for her or questions?
So when you have an ankle injury, I'm surprised she didn't get the full range of motion unless she has a metal or screws, something like that. That's the only time you don't get full range of motion because the way they put the screw or metal in there. So maybe she can help me with some more information. How long ago was the surgery done? What kind of surgery was it? Is it like they open it or just a fracture regular and they put the plaster? Something like that.
Okay,
But
Victoria, if you're still here, go ahead and answer his questions, and then he can let you know. So we'll see in just a moment if
mhm.
because it's hard for me to see on this sometimes.
Right. But and then general, so I talk generally, Vicky, the
Hmm.
ankle pain, same thing. If you don't have a full range of motion, the best way to do is ankle stretch exercises. Now, because it goes here, this is called plantar flexion, this is called dorsiflexion. So also we need to know which directions is limited. Is it the all or is it just
Okay.
one direction, right? And there are ways you can do exercises. Depends again what other activities you can do. If you're like say 50, 60 plus and you have a problem with standing, then we have to find the exercise which you can do with sitting activities. The best thing I so far helped me or is like if you want to do dorsiflexors, it's like you stand against the wall. Let me that I think show you.
All right. She
Okay.
says she hasn't had surgery. She tripped on a step. It just hurts
Oh,
time to time.
oh, time. You see my feet here?
Yes.
So that's it. So the more go closer you go, and then try to touch my knee to the knee wall. You see this one? So
Mm-hmm.
like it's stretching the calf muscles technically.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that way you kind of increase in the range of motion. If it is this way, down here it's pretty easier. I'm sure it's not the going down is the issue because that's pretty much everybody can get it easily.
Yeah, yeah. So I know that I've been doing this exercise, or I guess it's more of a stretching for my feet and my ankles, and so
Right.
I rotate my foot around to the
Very
right,
good.
and then around to the left,
Mm-hmm.
and then the down, and then the flex, and doing all that. And one of the things that I've noticed with that, and I started doing that when I was having the hip issue because I was told that it was, yeah, it's. She says it's the going up. Yes.
Yeah. See, I told
Um,
you it's very common there.
yeah, yeah. So, it was when my hip was out, I was told that it was probably it's not always the hip that's the issue, that's the symptom of whatever the issue was. And so I noticed that with my when I would do the rotation to the left or to the right, that I would hear this pop going happening when is
Mm.
that is there something to do about that or is that a normal thing?
So, a lot of patients come to me and they're like, "Oh, look at my knee, it's cracking." And I
Yeah.
say, "Yeah, you can look at my knee, it's cracking too. Like they're
Okay.
both equal." So, cracking doesn't mean it's something wrong, or even though
Okay.
sounds not. Yes, it could be some kind of a tendon gliding issues we call it. So it
Mhm.
can easily resolve with stretching exercises. So it's
Okay.
just the body alignment again, like I said, change a little bit habit. See next time you move around and
Yeah.
watch your body movement. Uh, I always say, as long as it doesn't hurt you, Vicky, just don't worry about it.
Okay.
Just focusing on the main thing, and you don't have to worry about those parts.
Okay. Victoria says, and sometimes I feel it when I flex my ankle to the left, most especially.
Okay, so she might have some kind of a ligament injury, looks like, rather than just the range of motion issues.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's been a long time, we consider as a chronic case where you don't need much. Just again, like if it hurts too much at time or you feel some kind of a swelling, it a little bit like it's get a little swollen. Use ice pack that lower the inflammation. Try to, if you're walking a lot, especially, try to wear the ankle sleeves, we call it, just for
Mm-hmm.
the walking, not at night, not in the very in the house. Let's say walking outside a lot, because if it is a minor ligament injury, which is like a little cut in the ligament, which is the negligible, but sometimes it doesn't heal 100%. It heal only like 80 to 90%, and the 10-20% stays there, and it keep giving nagging pain, especially when you do the extreme motion or you kind of a stretch too much, and that 10%, because it didn't heal properly, it just kind of it just give you more pain. You can, like, visit the therapy, physical therapists, and they do other modalities, like we use like a shockwave therapy, laser therapy, which increase blood circulation around that area, which
Mm-hmm.
can eventually help to heal that ligament way faster. But then if that's the case, I would do the strengthening exercise, especially target your knee muscles. because when you walk and if your leg is not strong enough, you're putting a lot of pressure on the ankle, right? So
Okay, so it could be from the knee then.
right. So I would be
Okay.
focusing on your knee strength and also hip exercises. Again, same,
Hmm.
Now, if Victoria is doing a treadmill or walking, I would not suggest that with that ankle pain. I think best thing for her to do is a bike, because a bike you're using your leg, but you're not standing on your feet.
Okay.
So if she's doing one of those, just change the activity, see how it works, and reach out to me. Maybe we can plan some exercise for her particularly.
Okay. Well, we'll put some we'll put something in the comments where
Sure.
they'll be able to reach out to you if for
Of
some
course. Of
special
course.
information.
No problem.
And so let me see. Are you doing the bike or are you doing a treadmill and stuff, Victoria? And so just since a
Hmm.
lot of things seem to keep uh thank you for these tips. I do walking and we'll switch it up. Okay, cool,
Yeah.
cool. So since a lot of the things you've talked about, you did mention the hip a lot, right?
Yes.
So can you give somebody that maybe aren't having a problem right now, but when we notice a problem, it's usually could have been prevented, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
is there like a general hip exercise that strengthens and um, lengthens or whatever stretches the hips that might be a good idea for most people?
Yes, yes, definitely. Like, basic. I always say, Vicky, if you don't have issues, just do the basic work. Lot of time I lately see that people, because of this, all the internet coming out, and people try to make this content, and they're like, oh, do this exercise, do that exercise. And I'm like, no, you cannot. You're 40-year-old. You cannot do this exercise what 20 years do it. There's a difference to do it. And then they
Mm-hmm.
try to copy that and they get injured, or they say, no, there's no way I can do it, and they give up everything.
Right.
Just the basic exercise, the hamstring exercise, right? The hip, the bridging always helps, especially
The
women.
what?
Bridging exercise, where you kind of lie flat down,
Mm-hmm.
bend your knees, and lift your hip up, technically of the floor. It's called bridging. I will
Okay.
write down some exercises which everybody can do it.
Okay.
Actually, I'm planning to create a content around it, like basic stretching exercise for the back. We'll do that, and probably I'll share it with you and your team.
Okay.
But target, you can Google online, no problem, and see there are a lot of options there. Main thing I would suggest the hamstring exercises, bridging exercises, and I mean these are the stretching mainly, and just the basic leg exercises. That's all you need. No, just 10-15 minutes a day. You can see a big difference. But now again, Vicky, I know we're talking about exercises, but don't forget about the nutritions. Okay, your body need to heal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you're doing exercises but you're not eating enough protein, or you're putting a lot of weights on it, those exercises not gonna help you enough, because you need
Right.
to have like a balance of both, right?
Right.
So that's also I always explain my patient, like, try to figure it out, try to work on the exercises as well, but focus on your diet, because you don't want to eat all the carbs and the calories and non-stop, and then you do 10 minutes exercise, the balance is off now,
Yeah. Yeah.
right? So
And
that's
I
the
can
key.
help with the mindset on the working out and
Oh,
everything part
perfect.
and the food part, right?
All right. Amazing. Amazing. Yes.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. Wendy says this sounds great. Um, so is there something that before we got on here that you had in mind that you wanted to share with everybody? Some techniques, some tricks, something that I haven't thought about asking or nobody else has asked about that might be
Yeah.
beneficial?
So I thought about this thing, like, I know you would talk about the mind and the body, and I'm very big into it. My mindset always think about that. And I learned throughout my experience that when patient comes, 9 out of 10 times when I ask them, they don't tell me. They tell me, like you said, we're discussing now. Oh, I do this and it hurts, and I do this and hurt. But I promise you, Vicky, third or fourth time I understand the patient and start talking to them, their pain is not the physical pain, it's the emotional pain they're going through it. They have a lot of stress in personal life. Either
Mm-hmm.
is a financial pain, or either somebody family, something going on with their life, with the kids, something going on. And what happened is, because of that, even though pain is here, like 0 to 3, but your body makes you feel like 10. Now you need something to blame. So what you're going to do, instead of blaming other person, you're blaming yourself, and then it caused, like, the big pain. And when he's going through all this turmoil around this mind thing, all the stress causing you, it's affect because it's blocking all the receptors of your brain to get this healing receptors, because your body needs to heal constantly too. Why
Mm-hmm.
do we sleep at night?
Yeah.
Because your body needs to heal,
Mm-hmm.
because the whole day you work. And you also know, I also know, if you don't sleep, what can happen. It's a lot
Right.
of
All
crazy
right.
things,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that same thing, a lot of times, and that's why particular you talked about it. I'm like, oh, I need to start educating people more about it. Like a back pain, you won't believe it, including me. Sometimes if I don't sleep well, I have a back pain next day right away. And then I need to do stretching and I sleep well, 2 days, boom, back pain is gone. I didn't do exercise. I didn't do anything. It just I need to work towards my calming my mind, get the proper sleep, and everything goes back to normal again. So
Yeah.
sometimes people think about it. I'm like, okay, when you have a pain, yes, we can help you, and that's why people like therapists, physical therapists in general, because when they speak to us, and we kind of give them a suggestions, and you won't believe it, 9 out of 10 times, I usually talked more than actually doing manually work, and they feel already relieved. It's just you need
Mm-hmm.
somebody to talk, right? Now, again,
Yeah.
I'm not telling you you don't need therapy. You definitely need physical therapy. I'll be out of work, or a lot of people out of work.
Well, like
But
I said, with my hip issue, it's funny because I was having this issue where I felt like I was responsible for everybody and everything.
right,
And it felt like it was just getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And the bigger it got, the more issue I had with my hip. And I made
yeah,
this mistake of saying one day, I wish somebody would take care of me for a change. And
exactly,
the next day, I couldn't hardly walk. I
yeah,
couldn't go up and down the stairs. And it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't mean that, you know? I take it back.
you're
I
right.
take it back. And I had to really work a lot on my emotional stuff while I was doing the stretching and the strengthening and everything,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
But
I agree.
so it is all the body is a miraculous thing, right? But it's
And
not
and
separated from your brain and
yes,
your heart.
and you hit the nail right on the point. Like, you take care of yourself first. A lot of patients, I get it here, the same thing. They say, "Oh, I have a kids." Well, you don't understand. I have a, like old parents I need to take care of. Them. Oh, I have to take care of my aunts. I had to go to work and everything. I understand. A lot of people wants to help everybody. It's like a flight. You go to flight, they say that, first fasten your seatbelt and then help
Yeah,
others. So
yeah,
some kind of something like that, right?
yeah. You have to put on your oxygen mask first.
Oxygen mask first before
Yes.
you help including your son. They say even as your kid, first put your
Yeah.
mask, right?
Yeah.
I mean, of course, we
Because
don't
you
do
can't
that.
help anybody if you pass out, right?
Exactly, right? So this is the same thing. I always say, I had actually recently a patient had, like, I think, three family member in the house she has to help. That's include, I think, the old parents, and she had like a two kids, so four people, right? And I told her, I said, tell me what happens when you are bedridden. Let's say you can't stand up from your bed. What's gonna happen? She said, I don't know. I said, trust me, everybody will survive. They'll find something else to do.
Yeah.
It's just you believe that without you nothing gonna happen, which could be. I say, I don't know your situation. You are 100% right, but think about it. If you're doing 100%, make it to 50%, so you
Yeah.
get 50% less workload. That 50% workload can help you to heal better. Then when you 100%, you don't need to help four people, you can help 40 people, because now
Yeah.
you are 100%. So I always say that, just focus on yourself. I understand that everything can wait as long as you're healthy,
Right. And
right?
Victoria says, great reminder about how emotional pain influences the physical body. And I'm telling you, I can attest to that
Yes,
big time,
agree.
right?
No, 100%. And even we are therapists, we also go through a lot of time, like, we have patient, but then sometimes we have our personal life going on, right?
Hmm.
And when I come to the see the patient, and again, same thing, my body alignment will change because my mind somewhere else, but I'm working. So now body proposition switch. 2 days later, I have a knee pain, back pain, whatever the body part I didn't use properly. And then the minute I put my mind to it, like, okay, I need to take care of now because it's been going for a long time. I take care of it 3 days, 4 days, max 1 week, I'm back to normal. So
Yeah.
again, but if I would have ignored it, not work
Mm-hmm.
towards the pain or fixing the pain, that could lead a big, big problem in the future. Like after 20 years, that can lead to a major,
Yeah.
major problem, right? So sometimes we have to think that like that
Yeah.
too.
So there's a lot being said for when you get a twinge of a pain. It's like, for me, I've learned that the first thing I do is say, okay, what's my body trying to tell me right now? Am I
Yeah.
standing wrong, or is my thoughts off? What's going on? And so when you learn to just kind of tap into your body and just talk to it and say, hey, tell me, what are you trying to tell me?
Yeah.
And then you can kind of make a decision from there. What's the next thing? It's so true. You can make yourself sick. Yes, Wendy.
Yeah.
You can also, the wonderful thing about that is you can also make yourself well.
Yes. And
So
Vicky is
it,
the best helping
thank
there,
you.
right?
So there is so much said for getting in touch with who you are
Yeah.
and what your body needs. And then you can really decide, what's the next move. And you can reach out to Alpesh because he
Yeah.
can definitely help you with the working. And he has an amazing your wrist kit. You want to tell him about your wrist
Oh
kit
yeah, yeah,
thing?
yeah. So I was trying to figure out how to help people, and then I saw a lot of patients in the clinic with the wrist pain, and a lot of and including me. And my dad had a stroke, so his wrist was not working. And I know a couple of patients in the family, and they keep asking me, "What do I do? What would I do?" Like you just tell me, show me exercises, and I'm like, "Okay, let me." And I used to do home care, so I go to patient's house, and then I cannot carry all the machines there. So I'm like, okay, I need to come out with some solution. And I looked online, and all this garbage like stuff people are selling it. And I'm like, people spending a lot of money for this, and then look at this product, not high quality, not even that. Half of them not useful, Vicky. And I'm like, okay, you know what? This is not right, because two of my patient bought it, and they couldn't understand half of the thing because it's complicated.
Mm-hmm.
So I was talking to a couple of friends, and I'm like, okay, you know what, we need to work out. So actually, through patient, they inspired me. They said like, I wish you could get something for us. And I'm like, why? I said, because you know what to do, and if you give me something, probably it's easier for me. And I'm like, okay, I think that's a good idea. And that's how I kind of create, like, I named it therapy kit, but it's more like a hand therapy part. It comes like a lot of components and everything you need for your hand care. Of course, depends on the exercises and the stuff. You're not gonna use everything. A lot of people can use everything. I have a lot of patients, they love the whole kit and they go one by one everything. And I made a lot of videos about it, how to do properly. So it's not like just you get a kit and you forget about me. And I'm always there. Every person, whoever is available, or buy the kit or anything like that. In your community, I'm always available, but for the public, because I work, right, Vicky? But
Mm-hmm.
if I have a Facebook group, and the people who buy the kit, and I always said I'm there to answer any questions, no problem. Of course, as a time limits, but I'm always there to ask the real questions, not that you buy the product and forget. So my idea behind it, I want to provide the resources you need. I want you to provide free education, anything you like to know. Like I said, I wrote a book. You can go to my website and get the free ebook. It will come in your inbox without any issues, and you can read it on your phone, tablet, anywhere you want it. And then I have a kid. So what's your excuse not to get better? I don't know.
That's right. Well, we'll put all the information in the not in the description, but in the comments,
Yeah.
so that everybody can get in touch with you. And so before we go, I just want to remind everybody there's a couple of things that are coming up, and I want to make sure that you're aware. So the Money Mindset Bingo game is happening on Thursday. That's the 27th at 5 p.m. Eastern, and it's actually going to be on Zoom. And so there is a link in the events section of the group. So anybody that wants to attend, make sure that you sign up there so you get all the reminders. And then there's a stand up and stand out party on Friday the 28th at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, and there's an event that you can sign up for that one too. So there's two things coming up right there that we can get together and play and really inspire each other and help. So I wanted to make sure that I talked about that first. And then I also want to tell you so much. Thank you so much, Alpesh, for being here and sharing, because I can tell that the people that are here have definitely gotten some value. And I know that when people are watching the replay, that they will as well. So I want to tell everybody, if you're watching the replay, then put hashtag replay. And then if you have some questions, you can ask them in there, because Alpesh is part of the community right now, so that he can go in there and check and see.
Yeah.
And so there is so much help for you here, and he's gonna help you.
No, 100%. Vicky, just for your group, if anybody need personal attention, I will send them a link. If they want to go jump on a one-on-one call with me,
Oh,
it's
okay.
free, and I would not charge anything, just for your community, just for my
Oh,
way to say thank you to
how
you, because you've been
exciting
great
is
help.
that?
Yes.
Yeah. So I might be calling you first.
Yes, definitely. Anytime you guys need help, I'm here. Write the questions. If I feel like, nope, I need more information, we can jump on a quick call, try to understand. If I have to show you exercise, maybe I'll record something, I'll send it to you personally if I have to do it. But yes, but get your help first. Like, what you need to do, figure it out, because I don't want 1,000 call, just like a one day. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
no, if you need help, I'm here, and Vicky will monitor everything. So no problem. I'm happy to help, Vicky. Thank you for calling
All
me
right, thank
and
you. And
inviting
so
me.
everybody's saying thank you for the helpful tips. So, and thank
Of
you
course.
guys for being here live and asking questions and
Yes,
playing full out, because that always is best when Alpesh has taken the time out of his day to help you guys. I'm so grateful that you were here. And for everybody that watches the replay, please, please, please put hashtag replay and ask Alpesh questions on that as
yes,
well, so that we can help him see how much we appreciate him.
of course. I love that. Thank you,
All
Vicky.
right.
All right.
So thank you guys. Mwah. Bye. Hold on a second.
Mhm.
Oh, here we go.